that's not exactly true, but it's close enough. Checking if everything is good on my end. Shut up, phone. Next speak. Or don't. You speak.
Speaking.
As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of the soul. Voices from the past call out to you. Oh my god, that is so many words.
Get reading, boy.
You see You see a key turn gently, steady, and hear a ghostly click as the door swings open, inward. Two figures slip in, locking the door behind them and begin their prowl. Their hunt is efficient and it takes them little time to acquire a sizable collection of documents in oddly shaped velvet pouches. Quick hands fill pockets, rucksacks, and bags. The door opens downstairs and everything freezes. Footsteps, a tired giggle. The thieves are all eye whites. In short breath as they empty their pockets of all but the necessities. Anything noisy hurriedly replaced. Silence from downstairs, then tentative steps up the staircase. A voice calls out. One thief creeps forward. This is a lot of words. The other... I don't know how to say that word.
Gesticulating.
That one. Didn't know you were watching. Wildly for him to return. He continues forward, crouching by the banister. He sees a gaudy shoe and shoves. The woman falls with a cut-off scream, rolling lifelessly to the floor below. That's nice. Swearing, the second thief grabs her brother and they make their escape, collecting whatever value they can on their way out. That's nice.
So the thief kept another thief?
That's what it sounds like. Or it could be killed someone that was hiding. Plants. I like plants. I don't know exactly what plants are used for in this particular in this particular game compared to the second one, but you know. Wait, hold on. Are these the characters that people have said that I should watch out for? Hold on, let me check something. Yep, this is one of them. Alright, I get it. Alright, that was the one that people wanted me to look out for and not interact with them because they're backer-created characters that have no relevation to the story. But part of me is interested in the expanded universe. What about you?
Go for it.
Oh my god, more words. As you near, you feel a vibrant history containing the essence of this man's soul. Voices from the past call out, that's a lot more words. You see a large crowd gathered in the middle of a courtyard. This man stands in the midst of them, a cloak pulled over his head, holding it closed around his neck. The crowd has congregated around a platform, and they all watch, transfixed, as a man is led to the platform. That sentence could be better. That one felt bad to read. Flanked by two city guardsmen, the man is shackled hand and foot, but carries himself as a nobleman, not deigning to even glance at the crowd. The cloaked man pulls his cover closer around his face and turns to leave. Hunching over to avoid being seen, a crier on the platform
Did the
unrolls
backers
a
for the
parchment.
game make this part of their character themselves?
I think so.
Hmm.
Which might explain why that sentence was not very good to read earlier. Still good lore, though. A crier on the platform unrolls a parchment and begins to read, but the man pays no attention, intent on getting away from the courtyard. The crier's voice grows louder and more intense as he reads, and voices from the crowd start to punctuate his sentences. The jeers and shouts grow more frequent, and with each one, the cloaked man flinches and his shoulders droop. He breaks from the crowd, coming to the edge of the courtyard as the crier reaches the end of his proclamation. The crowd grows silent again, save for the occasional shout. The man turns back to look at the platform, seeing his father kneeling before the block, neck exposed. The executioner moves into position, lifting his axe to strike. The man turns suddenly, unable to watch. There is a wet thunk, and the crowd breaks into cheers and applause. Well, that's mean. He leans against the wall, regaining his composure, then straightens up. With obvious resolve, he strides off away from the crowd and his legacy. Well, that's morbid.
Hmm.
Rudolph Necator. That's a name. I'm wondering what the meaning of it is.
Someone lacking the name, apparently.
Well, no shit. That's a lot of words.
Rudolph the Necatorid probably had to do with necromancy.
Yeah, just that name, I don't know. It's probably not necromancy, but you know the stereotypes.
And if you've ever saw him, you could join us on the army.
It's probably not necromancy, but I know what you mean, the stereotype.
Also, it's a Red-Nosed Reindeer parody.
You see a pair of immaculately polished leather boots and an impeccably maintained goatee. Nice. Their owner, a slightly hooked-nosed man with a wicked grin and narrow eyes. He bobs his feathered hat at a nearby merchant as he ambles by. A small piece of parchment held tight in his fist, ink staining his fair fingers. He seems to know most of the other merchants in the market, stopping to engage some, nodding at others, and even bartering for minor goods with a select few. Always smiling, laughing, and exchanging jibes, he approaches a heavy-set Amawa, smile plastered stiff across his face, and jokes about the weather. She jokes back subtly. Brain!
Subtly.
Thank
Or
you.
subtly. Subtly.
Subtly. My brain did not want to pronounce word right, palming him several gold coins. When he walks away, the paper in his hand is gone, and the smile on his face far more genuine. He tips his cap at her, winking, and trundles off with a new spring in his step. Wow, this city is a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Damn.
What does huge mean by a lot of words?
That's a lot of words. Too bad I'm reading them.
What this happens for each and every interaction you do?
No, these are backer NPCs. It's a little different. We know there's more grain in there, Trumbell. That's a name. We won't settle for scraps while you grow fat on our crops. A muffled shouting emerges from inside the mill. The first of you drunkards come through that door get a shot between the eyes. Gods hear me, Swainer. I'll put you down like a dog. That's nice. Come away for now, lads, but we'll be back. Trumbell, and we'll have fair and we'll have fair prices, or by the flame we'll have a reckoning. Sure, I'll go do that quest, but I need to go get companion first. And if I'm correct on the map, he is this way. Assuming I can get him. I can't get Eder right now, which makes me sad.
Do you even have any companions yet? I don't think so.
No. Eder and Aloth are here, but Eder basically just said go away. In the nice way. And Aloth is down here. Can I actually bring him with me? Oh, people seem upset at Mr. Elf. You see 4 people gathered by the door to the inn. Their raised voices and chopping gestures suggest an argument reaching its climax. The first figure raises its hands for calm. His face is partially obscured by a hood, but his height and stature suggest an elf. I just want to preface this. Given that I'm going to be playing this game, Pillars 2, and Pathfinder and Rogue Trader, when I get to them, that's gonna be a lot of reading.
I meant no offense. Let's put this matter to rest over a round, shall we?
Hoping to soothe our pride with a few Adira coppers, eh? We don't need your coin.
One of the older men glares at the hooded elf. His eyes are red from drink, but his gaze is focused. We're humbled folk, but we're no fools. Not like he thinks. Mocking us while he shelters in our village. We don't take to that kind of talk from foreigners, especially not Adirans.
Go on. Say it again. I'm itching for an excuse.
Name a demons like the bad guy in all, well, supposed bad guy in like all 3.
It's because they're expansive, that's all. You know, the whole, fucking... They're pushing further than they should, so to speak.
Why, you're itching for the kindling touch of your sister, you cocksmither!
Okay, so the separate personality thing is right from the get-go. I thought we would run into it later, not be slapped in the face by it in the beginning.
I'll cut that barrel-licking tongue out of your head.
This is a misunderstanding. I didn't say whatever it is you think I said. We've nigh quarrel.
Oh, so this is what they meant. So this is what was meant in the second game. The alternate personality is way more active in the first game and way more obnoxious. Where in the second game, if you keep it, it's there but less obtrusive. I get it.
That's where you're wrong.
Oi, don't be drawing weapons.
You have to be passionate, Mr. Bang.
We don't want your charity either, foreigner.
I try diplomacy, that never works.
I mean, do we even know if this character's a foreigner? The only thing I know is that I'm a merchant. That's all I know.
You're not a merchant, you're a watcher.
No, that's later. Right now I'm a merchant. They squint at you through red, bleary eyes. It sounds suspiciously like you're defending him. I wonder why. You're just gonna take out a weapon and attack a dude because he insulted you?
Quit.
What the? So, remember how I said Chanter is fucking broken in the first game compared to the second?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a passive that the Chanter has in the first game where you just attack things around you every second. You know, chant, damage, chant, damage, chant, damage. That's what just happened.
Are you playing at the hardest difficulty?
Yeah.
Wait, yes or no?
Yeah.
Do you think Elf was meant to be there helping you in that fight before you, like, one-shot him?
Oh, probably, but considering these guys are civilians, I don't think they had much health to begin with. So that chant spam damage thing, doesn't surprise me. As the last of the attackers falls, the elf turns to you. The tension's almost gone from his smooth face. Almost?
Not quite how I hoped to get to know the neighbors. Thank you for your timely assistance with that awkward situation.
Glad we could help? Question mark?
Courtesy is a rare pleasure in these parts. Though your accent suggests that you are no more local than I.
I don't even have an accent. What you mean? He straightens his hood, and you note the remains of fraying embroidery on his gloves. His boots are caked with dirt of many months' travel, but the leatherwork beneath is sturdy
I
and
suppose
fine.
introductions are in order after that little fiasco. Aloth Corvusser, at your service.
Okay, speak.
I'm a wizard by training, and an adventurer by necessity. I was born in the Seathwood, part of the mainland of the Adir Empire, and both of my parents served the nobility, which afforded me an education.
But he's speaking of himself.
However, there were no open positions in those houses.
Good.
and So I decided to seek new means in a new land.
It's not very often, but it happens sometimes.
And how exactly did you come to be here?
Well, you see, I was a merchant traveling with a caravan, probably selling things. We got attacked by a wind monster, separated in ruins, attacked by crazy people. Then yeah.
In Gwithan ruins? Well, those can be dangerous places during the best of times, which these are not. In half the locals would arrest you for trespassing, and the rest would kill you outright. I'm curious, what exactly did you find there?
Wind monster.
And you survived? I heard such a thing was impossible. It seems you either have a knack for timing or the favor of the gods.
I would chalk it more up to luck based on what I know of the gods in this universe.
An excellent question. I came looking for fresh air and cheap land. Instead, the magistrate gave me directions to the inn and a story about the local lord's expectant wife. But I take it that's a familiar tale.
Yes, and from the sounds of it earlier, dead.
Indeed. In that case, welcome to Gilded Vale, a true refuge from civilization.
Yeah. So, how did you piss off those people?
I'm afraid that was a matter of misunderstandings and mistranslations. It doesn't help that people in these parts remember their war with Adir like it was yesterday.
I mean, depending... Excuse me. Depending on who you ask, it technically could have been yesterday. That, he clears his throat and adjusts his sleeves. As I tried to tell them, they misheard me. Yeah, sure, buddy. Happens all too easily after a few pints, and the accent doesn't help. For just a moment, he looks as if he's about to say something else. His expression brightens with mischief. But before he can speak, he forces a tight smile, biting his lip so hard you expect to see blood. That's nice. Finally, his face relaxes and he shakes his head. I should speak more clearly next time. My apologies. Lying. He's definitely not a settler,
Begging
though.
your pardon, but neither do you. Yet, circumstances can find a person in the strangest of places. As should I, given recent events. It's just as well. I've had enough of the watered wine and lumpy beds at the inn. They say even the owner tired of the place. Just up and left one day. It explains quite a lot about the upkeep. Perhaps I
His
could join
accent.
you. I could use a change of scenery, and I find it's better to travel in...
What about his accent?
His accent changed mid-sentence there. I feel like the second personality is way more intrusive than we might expect in the first game.
Excellent. I shall follow you.
We got loot from the dead guys. Yay. Light armor. I'm going to assume that anything... Blah. Based on how this works, I'm going to assume that anything I pick up gets transferred to stash that I'm not using. What weapon does he... Not stop. Ah! What weapon does he have? Okay, so he has the scepter, and he has a rapier. What books does he have? Okay, that does not help in the slightest. What? Can you tell me what spells it has? May I please know what spells the book has? Okay, there we go. Huh? My brain does not comprehend this.
What?
This is not like the second game. I do not comprehend this.
Oh! Think of it as...
Wizard from D&D.
yes.
So, this follows more original Wizard instead of the number 2 game. Okay. Alright, what spells do I have equipped then? Alright, big damage. Melee attack. Alright, so let me get rid of melee attack and put decoy. What armor does he have? Does he have his own? Yep, okay. He still has his unique armor. Yep, it's literally the exact same as it was in the second game. Except it looks kind of not as nice looking.
Was it Baldur's Gate 3 or Divinity that we saw a spellbook and each page was like level 1, level 2?
Divinity never had spell books.
Hmm.
And Baldur's Gate doesn't have spell books unless you're playing as a wizard.
Good day, stranger.
Hello and welcome to the innkeeper looks up in surprise. Oh, it's you. Tenfrith told us what you did for him. It's such a relief to have him back. Can't thank you enough. Consider yourself a favorite of the house. Discounts on drinks and rooms. Tenfrith said he wanted to whip something nice for you. He's already back to work in the kitchen, so what would you like? Nothing. I'm going to leave, go do the other area now that I have a companion, and then come back. Alright. Mac, do you know if Eder still has athletics and survival like he did in the second? Is that still the same here?
Don't know. Don't know. I never played the first one.
Because I'm going off of the assumption that he does. It would make sense, right?
I mean, I guess.
Why would his background change?
It wouldn't.
Actually, hold on. Before I level up... What does Aloth have? I would assume it's still the same. Yep. Well, kind of the same. The first game doesn't have metaphysics like the second game, so all of it's dumped in lore. In that case, let me leave lore where it is. And I guess I'll up my stealth and mechanics because not much else I can level up. I guess that one. I don't really know any of the good chances in this. But now that I have Aloth, the other area that I was trying to do and getting my ass kicked by lizards shouldn't be as bad. Hey there, hero. Okay, no, well, fuck you then. Eder, please, you're the bestest bro. Why won't you come with me? Alright, now that I have Aloth, this fight should hopefully be not bad. Wait, does he have a shield? Am I seeing a shield on him? No, he's holding his book in his left hand. Why? Doggo. Okay, just obliterate the dog with fucking magic missile, okay. Shattered pieces of a crate are strewn across the dirt, along with a few muddy vegetables. Land.
Fuck it. The way Aloth's Grimwall works is like how Celesta's magic book worked.
I'm not following your meaning.
You saw where it said, where on the left it said level 1 spells, and on the right you're only able to move on the number 1 line.
Yeah.
Each line is spell level. So from the spells on the left, you can only add 4 from that list to the right in level 1 slot.
Isn't that exactly how it works in D&D though, or am I forgetting something?
I never played Wizard in D&D, so I don't know. Well, no, I'm just going based off Celesta.
Well, you used Nenyo in Pathfinder, and that's literally D&D.
So did you.
I don't remember. That's the thing. Bear Cave? Oh my god, he leveled up. Oh my god. Well, if his whole thing is lore, I guess I'll just dump all the points in lore. Never fail a lore check again.
But yeah, it's simple. The list on the left shows you what level spells you have, and on the right, each line is what level, like first level spell, second level spell, third level spell, etc, etc. You only have 4 slots for each level, so you can only pick 4 spells from level 1 for the right slots. Make sense?
Yeah. I know Necrotic Lance is a good spell. I remember that. Assuming it works the same way it does in 2, it did in 2, the Necrotic Lance is a good spell. I know that one. Aloth Grimoire already has mirrored image, so I don't think I would need it a second time unless I'm getting rid of his book. Which seems counterproductive. Able to see. I don't know if I don't know if spells can critical hit. Let me see if they can critical hit. Because if they can't crit, then that's entirely redundant. Alright, so they can crit. So that's a definite good option. What's the others? Support spell. Okay, inflict toxin and inflict blindness. Burn damage for each wound. Damage reduction, big web. Already have that. Thinking blindness, because blindness good. Before I fight bear, damn. Dude, Aloth does a ton of damage. Alright, I wanted to make sure I'm still on Path of the Damned. That lizard just went. Damn! Dude, look at the damage! Jesus!
He a powerful elf.
Here I am poking with my fucking tiny stick, and he just goes, and they all die. Ooh, quarterstaff. Man, too bad I can't use hats. The struts and supports are long enough to be the ribs and vertebrae of a dragon. Very much doubt. I mean, fighting this bear should be easy with Aloth around.
Quick.
Well, that's a lot of bears.
Got the whole family.
I think I'm dead.
You got Mama
Yeah.
Bear, Baby Bear, Papa Bear.
Dead? Dead elf?
Is there permadeath in that game?
There's always been permadeath. Alright, can I swap weapons and then shoot
Sharp eyes
one
and
bear?
keen ears.
Can I shoot one bear? Alright, fine, I'll do it with
I'll see
Aloth
what I can
because
find.
apparently I can't aim crossbow. Okay, no. So I'm not fighting this bear now is what I'm getting at. Nice. I thought fighting a bear would be simple. Nope. Why can't a wizard fight a bear, yet an envoy with a stick and a pistol can? What?
Don't you know? Wizards tag, they stay on a chair wrong. All they have is 4 health. 1d4 sting damage.
Yet the envoy from the third game can kill a bear with a stick and a pistol that shoots blanks.
Oh, the envoys are godlike.
So am I! For this character.
Yeah, but it's just a generic godlike. The envoy's a new, unique godlike. That's the difference. The fungus that's on your face as a new godlike gives you amazing durability and strength.
Well, according to the third game, all godlikes are supposed to have those magic powers, but apparently it doesn't translate into earlier games. So I guess I'll actually talk to people now. Could use some work. Well, I wouldn't say I can speak from experience, but we do have certain sorts coming by looking for work from time to time. If you want to hire someone on, I'd be happy to send them your way. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait, what? Okay, so I can rest in the common room for free because I saved that guy. Nice. Will you buy things from me? Yes. Buy all of the junk. Buy all the lizard spears. Oh, I can sell for my stash, even better. Buy all of my junk. Don't you know? Pick up everything. Sell it. Profit. I have 1,000, so let me grab a character.
Or you know, mercenary.
Yeah, might as well, because I'd imagine it's gonna be a while before I get companions. Orlins have really good ranged. Let's assume that I'm gonna get Edda really, really soon, right?
What, has he been running
because
away
he's-
from you or something?
Well, he basically said a hi, and then, you know, we went on our merry way.
Mm.
So I'm going to assume that we're going to get Edda really soon because he's in the first town. And in that case, I'm getting a ranger. Gonna get a ranger because it gives you an extra teammate. And Orlins are really good at dealing damage from far away because of their passive. Was there always an antelope companion in the second game? Great answer.
What, you asking me something?
Was the antelope a thing in the second game?
The antelope?
Yes, the companion for the ranger.
Oh, I think so.
Wait, they changed how the boar is in the second game? Interesting. In the first game, the boar does more damage when on low health. In the second game, the boar is just unkillable. That's funny. Alright, well, I guess I'll go with bear, because bear's helpful. Uh... What's that famous bear's name? One that goes, "Hey, boo boo."
Yogi Bear. Hey, boo boo, give me a picnic biscuit.
I don't know if that's how you spell Yogi, but we're going with that.
Yogi.
Well, I hope that was right, because that's what I'm going with.
Well, did you put Yogi?
No.
Would you put
Yogie.
Yogi? Yeah. Okay.
Stealth.
Hey there. Now I am the leader of the group. Shh. I'm here.
Alright, we'll go with that one. You're gonna love the name. Did you see the name?
I'm coming. I wasn't on
Oh,
the
you weren't
stream.
looking?
Yeah, I wasn't on the stream.
Well, look at the name for mercenary. It's on the top.
Yeah, or the most scary and red shirt one. Okay.
Good day to you.
Like to know more about the Black Hound. Well, let me see. The actual building's been here for years, but the Black Hound's fairly new. We got a lot of new faces in here, too. Fewer than we used to, I'll admit. Henfirst's the big draw. I'm sure we'll get the big crowds back again in no time. I used to work the tables, actually, until the old owner up and left. Nobody's sure what happened to him. Even left his poor hound behind. That's mean. That's the name, see? The Black Hound. It's still sitting upstairs, pining after him, poor old girl. That's mean. Place ended up in my hands somehow. She ends up laughing. My very own inn. A lot of hard work involved, but it's been worth it so far. Please sit where you like. Would you like a drink or a room? We have 2 available at the moment. Can't offer much in the way of a good meal today, unless you're fond of cold porridge. Also, Mac, remember what Regil looks like in the Pathfinder game? You know, the gnome, Wrath of the Righteous Regil, the Hell Knight.
Oh, yeah, what about him?
Tell me this Orlin doesn't look exactly like him.
Going back in your stream.
Tell me this Orlin doesn't look exactly like him.
Make his hair white.
It make his hair white, and then you got Regil. Some kind of brown schlop is congealing in the dishes. It smells burnt. That's nice. Villager, a lot of villages. If you're not an ale, I don't have business for you. That's nice. Don't know who you are and don't much care. Keep walking. We're not here to chat with foreigners. Eloth narrows his eyes. Careful. Looks like they're cut from the same cloth as those rowdies who attacked me. Smells like it too. Saw you outside of the mill. What was that about? Well, someone fancies himself a meddler, eh? Swainer says. What's that about? It's about Trumbull thinking he's king of the town on the count of he's got the mill to his name. The dwarf's jowls quiver with rage. It's about him barely giving us anything for the wheat we bring him and then cutting our purses when we need to buy grain. It's about farmers going hungry while some bastard gets rich off of the crops. Now, on one hand, that sounds like a really good thing to be upset about, but on the other hand, there's probably a lot more to the story that you're keeping out. That's what it's fucking about. Now shove off. What are you doing in here then? What's it look like? Drinking till I forget how much I want to put a pitchfork through Trumbull's face. Maybe I could talk to him. You think you could get through to him when we haven't? The man's thick as a peat bog. I hear he's got his soul read. Found his kin used to grow saunareed trees for the Ondiran lords, up until they figured out their side was losing. Explains why his knees still ache to bend to whatever lord or lady crosses the road. He'll be holed up in the mills for days. The coward, the dwarf eyes you consideringly. But here, if you want to give it a shot, good luck. We'll owe you one if you manage it. Drunkard, and who are you then? Another fool came to answer Rhetoric's invitation? That's mean. Our great lord had my sister run out of town after the brain work. Bowie? I'm gonna say Bowie was born.
Baba Booey.
She was the only family I had left. Not sure where she is now. Blazes, I need another drink. That's a lot of words. Too bad I'm reading them. Bonus points for anyone who gets that reference. You see a woman emptying her satchel onto the bed, taking stock of her inventory. Potions, bandages, tinctures, and herbs are scattered throughout her room haphazardly. She bites her lip, head tilted to the side. Considering, she begins to repack, one item after the other. Careful deliberation undercut by shaking hands. Each item has a clearly marked place, but no matter how she repacks it, she isn't satisfied. The shaking worsens as she empties it out once more. One hand held to her mouth, tears eke from her eyes as she gives up all semblance of order and shoves everything she can in the saddle, grabbing it and running out of the bear house. Straightening her back as she walks down to the docks, chin high, eyes hard and red, a gangly young elf offers his condolences, but she can't see him for the ocean ahead of her. That ending of that sentence doesn't sound right to me. What do I know? Probably nothing. She wanders the docks, offering her services as a doctor to anyone who will listen, anyone heading out onto the high tide. Less than an hour later, she watches her childhood disappear in the distance, a tiny speck of an island, and tries not to jump. Okay. That's a lot of words. Too bad we're reading them. You see a group of young men standing around a makeshift practice target. This man stands in the middle of them, explaining the construction and use of a bow. He holds it up, pointing out each part as he speaks about it and what it does. I mean, fair, because bows take a lot more effort to make than first appearance. He then walks away from the target, telling them to remain where they are, and takes his place about 200 feet away. He carefully lines up his shot, explaining what he is doing as he does it, and lets the arrow fly. It hits the target dead center, much to the surprise and delight of everyone near it. He smiles, walking towards everyone, talking about the proper stance and how to most effectively hold a bow. A noise comes from the tree line near their practice venue, and he stops, scanning the woods. Blue eyes squinting against the sun, a shadow moves, making its way across through the forest behind them. He draws an arrow and lines up the shot, carefully tracking the motion of the hidden creature. Loosing the arrow, he wastes no time and quickly grabs another. Everyone spins, watching the arrow fly into the forest, immediately lost among the trees. There is sudden, explosive movement in the undergrowth as a deer erupts from the tree line, running across the edge of the clearing. Everyone laughs, turning to joke with the man about his lousy shot. They stop talking, seeing him holding the bow and leading the deer with a knocked arrow. They drop to the ground as soon as he looses this last arrow, which flies true and strikes the deer right behind its shoulder, piercing heart and lungs and dropping it dead almost immediately. Everyone stare at the deer for a few seconds and then slowly turn to look at the man, newfound respect in their eyes. Now, my only thought with that sentence is, why is your first reaction to shoot something into the forest when you can't see it? That's not a recipe for disaster or anything.
Isn't it how a few hunter buddies ended up losing the buddy part of the hunter?
Yeah. Yep. Spoons hang by the fire, coated in gunk. That's nice. Henfrith, my savior. He makes a sweeping gesture to indicate the kitchen around you. It's good to be back. Do not think I will not let this go unrewarded. I have decided that you have earned the right to learn one of my most cleverly closely guarded secrets, my dearest recipe. After this, you will eat nothing else. A savory pie to keep you hale and hearty. May it serve you well in your travels.
Well met, friend.
So the human's still alive, or?
I mean, it's not really a human. It's
Okay, are the people they were looking at the bow with mystery still alive?
Oh, it was a story, so I don't know.
Hmm.
Grab a drink, friend. Not much of else worth in this town. Says the woman from Hey, we said we wouldn't mention Thane. Roaches scatter and flee under the crates.
I shall make it so.
Wow. Okay. I thought I would get negative reputation from that. I'm glad I didn't. Oh, okay. Lore is not just used for lore in this game. In this
What do you
first one,
mean?
it's also the scroll needed for scrolls.
Not a sound.
Crammed behind the book is a drawing that shows Eothas and Lord Rhetoric in a compromising position.
I can get it to spill its secrets.
Okay. Alright, more words. You see a man soar through the air, hitting a nearby wall with a nauseating crunch. Ow. He doesn't get up. His attacker, a burly, clean-cut warrior with a carnivorous grin, turns and shoves his fist into the stomach of another assailant. Removing another from the impromptu brawl, the bar is a whirlwind of elbows, knees, fists, and feet with no end in sight.
Oh
He
my.
is in his element. Should have said that to the comment earlier. In the corner, three
Oh
smaller men.
my.
In the corner, three smaller men speak quietly, throwing malicious glances at the larger men in the center. He breaks a chair over a tattooed head, cackling. The trio position themselves in three parts of the room, and with a terse nod, they charge. Unfortunately for them, the man sees them coming. Something in his eyes burns brightly, and all three slump to the ground in agony. That's all in their minds. The burly man bows to a room of the unconscious and incapacitated before sauntering out, off-key whistle trailing behind them. That's nice. You see a emaciated boy in chains, black holes for eyes staring sightlessly at a wall. A man in a dark coat walks in, a scroll and an oddly shaped quill in his hand. The boy glances at him expressionless, a corpse waiting for animation. The man clucks at him, disapproval clear in his tone. The boy stands, limbs hanging. The man takes the quill and begins to write on the boy's chest, copying sharp, angular symbols from the scroll. This is mean. The child doesn't flinch as the quill digs into his skin, drawing blood as it goes. The wizard finishing with a flourish and barks some arcane command, setting the symbols to glow dully. The boy cries out, knees hitting the stone, his chest burning black and red. Finally the glows disappear, leaving only hard black scars etched into his skin. He slumps sideways, twitching eyes facing the back of his skull. The wizard grunts, kicking him on the leg on his way out. The boy lies on the floor until dawn, eyes still black like holes, and the twitches growing into convulsive shakes. That's not nice. You see a long, empty road cutting through two large crop fields. The air is silent and the land seems too still for an early afternoon. This woman walks slowly on the road, leading a horse, curiously looking around. She seems to sense something wrong, but is unable to discern what is. She stops, sniffing the air, her nose high. Her brow crinkles as she casts about looking for something. The air is still, no clouds. She sniffs again, still looking around, confusion clouding her face, mouthing a single word. Fire. She looks out across the fields, her confusion turning to fear. She holds her hand up to block the sun from her eyes and scans the field again, not finding what she was looking for. She jumps onto her horse's back, the fear quickly becoming panic. She kicks, sending the horse shooting down the path, which bends around some trees to where the farmhouse should be. She pulls up short, horror now in residence on her face, as she stares at the burned and charred mess that used to be her family's home. Tears well in her eyes as she kicks again, racing to the rubble. That's nice. These bones are covered in tiny bite marks. This hound stares intently at the covered window, head cocked as if waiting to hear a particular sound. It looks up when you approach and whines a low note, tail wagging slightly. Pet the doggy. I just kidnapped a dog.
You kidnapped the dog.
Yep, I kidnapped a dog. Okay, so pets in the first game, as far as I'm aware, are just for appearances. They don't give you a stat effect. Well, I don't need a stat effect, me. Oh, this place has a balcony. Convenient. Should probably rest in a bed. Oh, wait, no. The endurance isn't. Never mind. Alright, I've been there, I've been there, I have not been there. There's 3 places I have not been. I was just insulted by a child. Heck, I was just insulted by a child.
Good.
He said, "Why is my face so strange?" Trumbull, an elven man stands before you, his relatively stocky build suggesting a life of labor. His face is pale and drawn and his eyes wide. Behind him, a younger man and women exchange worried glances. The miller raises a club as you enter and it shakes violently in his grip. Get back if you value your life. But I'm not here to hurt anyone, sir. The miller hesitates, then lowers the club. Wait, I know you. You just came into town. Don't tell me Swainer's already got his claws into you. Gods, that's all I need. I've already spoken to him, though. Tremble takes a deep breath, and what did he say? Treating the farmers unfairly, raising prices. Trumbull snorts. Of course he does. He's been saying nothing else for days. The man's delusional. If he wants grain, he'll have to pay for it. Where to begin? Swainers whip them into a froth, going on about the grain stores. Claims I've hidden away most of it. All I do with the grain is sell it. I can't create it out of thin air, and I can't hand it out for free. I pay the farmers for the crops they bring in, and I sell what comes out of the mill. Most of it goes to the Black Hound and the west side of the town for ale. And Swainer and his lot sure don't mind that part. You take a look at the fields on the way into town, the crop's blighted, and most of what I'm getting from the farmers, he gestures to the containers, it's gone off, rotted through. I can't pay top prices for blighted wheat, and I've barely got enough good grain to go around. Swainer's howling after things he has no right to. Miller all but sags with relief. I'd be grateful if you did. He won't listen to me anymore, but maybe you'll have better luck. Tell him we're all having a hard time of it, and we'll have to make some sacrifices. We'll be in your debt for it if you can convince him. A rancid stench rises from this grain. It's mushy and mottled with green. That's nice. I will be back momentarily after you use the bathroom. He's Bick.
Welcome back.
Aloth looks at you with quiet attentiveness. How may I be of service? I've gone for more than a year now. I've been gone for more than a year now, blah. But I suspect I'll always think of the forest and fields of Adir as home. We've thousands of years of history and tradition behind us, and there's a sense of dignity and responsibility that comes with that. He frowns. Of course, there's baggage as well, but our imperial past is still fresh in the minds of many, as you may have noticed. Has it been difficult adjusting to the Deerwood? People here are informal, hot-blooded. His mouth twists into a wry smirk, more attentive to insult than to duty. But as long as one avoids provocation, it's easy enough to get along. He I don't know how to pronounce it. Steeples his fingers. I've gotten accustomed enough to keeping my thoughts to myself in any case. How long have you been in the Vale? He shrugs, fidgeting with the hem of his sleeve. Not much longer than you, I imagine. As you saw, it was hardly the haven that has been advertised. Any place is better than the Gilded Vale. That's nice. Plants.
Good day to you.
You again. What do you want now? Hair off, rabbit. I have anything else to say. What if I buy you all around? Will you talk then? Fair enough. You bring us something to wet our throats, and it might be I'll feel up trading with words.
Greetings.
Hail and well met.
Fine fellows, you're having me on. Any more fighting, and I'll have to ban Swainer from the inn entirely. Until then, it'll be 6 pieces for the lot. If I can just get them talking, I might be able to convince them to stop harassing everyone. The innkeeper studies you warily for a moment and sighs. Well, that's alright then. Here. 3 drinks for the 3 fools. You'll get them off Trumbull's back. And maybe he'll be a little bit less stingy with his supplies. Yay! Good causes.
Welcome.
I've brought drinks, so you have. By the flam, I never thought I'd be so happy for a mug of the Black Hound shit beer. That's nice. God, that's good. Alright, then you've gotten my attention. What is it that you've got to say that's worth a round of drinks? Maybe you could tell me a little bit about what's going on here. It's like I said, the miller's in charge of the grain prices. He says they're fair, but I know for a fact that folks like Ulfra, Big Sigh, pay half what we do. The dwarf size. And maybe we've been a bit rough with him, but what are we supposed to do? We can't keep paying. We're going to starve. And what do you think Trumbull's gonna... blah. And do you think Trumbull's going to be sorry about it when we do? Look, there's no sense in threatening the miller. You have to help him up. You have him up against a wall. Don't. Hell Trumbull will leave him be. You're right. Things go on like they are, we're going to end up hanging from that tree out there. Don't know what we'll do now with the crops failing. Haven't got another trade to speak of. Think Paskin needs a hand around the inn.
How do you do?
Anyway, I'll be back in about 8 or so hours. See ya.
Bruh.
And goodbye,
Good
everyone.
day, stranger.
You're back. Have you had any luck with Swainer? Yes. And what did he say? I've convinced him to leave your family in peace. Why that... Wait, really? That's great news. I wasn't sure you'd get through to him. They're out of their minds with drink half the time. I owe you a great debt here. He pulls a coin purse from his hip and pushes it towards you. Today's earnings show my appreciation. And you can be sure I'll let everyone know what you've done with me. Nah, you keep it. I'll make do. You're a generous soul, Fran, and we'll have you to thank for making it through this coming year. Safe travels, and may you find favor with the gods. Well, you see, the problem with the gods is that they're not very nice. I think I've been in this house already. Or not. This man and woman appear to have been deep in conversation, working at closing two bulging sacks. They move to embrace until the woman notices your approach and pauses, her smile
Gods
faltering.
keep you.
Can we help you? She looks to her companion, brows furrowing with confusion. Do we know this woman, Naughton? Naughton coughs. Yes, I think we met in Valewood. I warned her about the bear. Glad to see you made it. Is there something you wanted? You two seem to be in a hurry. Yes, I imagine so. Ingrod laughs. We're packing for a trip. Actually, I've been meaning to visit Defiance Bay, and she looks at Naughton. Well, in truth, I think I've had my fill in this town. Only that you'll wanting to be moving on as soon as you can. You'll have seen the tree, I imagine, but the rot grows deeper. If you were looking for work, I would say you have a better chance of it anywhere else. I mean, if it's not stealing, I'm gonna take it. So we got the smithery. Ooh, this place is very big. Dented and dull, these swords look ready for the forge. That name rings a bell. Why does that name ring a bell? Come on. The bellows sigh into the furnace and the coals burn brighter still. This Amawa man is of impressive build, towering above the countertop. His skin is the dusky blue of the deeper ocean, and his thick arms boast corded muscle. Small ears frame a square-jawed face coated in a smeared soot and arcing black tattoos alike. He offers you a broad smile as you approach. Welcome, you're the first new face I've seen in quite some time. What can I do for you? Is this your shop? That it is. Been here near on 20 years. Now, seen all manner of things over these years, good luck and bad. Tuantu glances at the guard standing watch along the wall, but the black hammer smithery remains. What do you have? You come to us at a strange time, I'm afraid. The stock's not what it used to be, but we've got fine weapons and armor to offer yet, all forged right here at the Black Hammer. Mind I ask what happened? We just don't have the supplies. Been expecting the next delivery for near on a week, and haven't seen a sign of it. Have to expect we were hit by bandits. The road out east is crawling with them, or my workers ran off with the wagon themselves, maybe to make some coin. He snorts, as if that lot would dare. He's right about the bandits, Aloth says. The dire situations in the villages like this, and the exodus to the cities has created far too many opportunities for unscrupulous sorts. Tanu scratches his jaw, thinking, if you happen to be headed that way, maybe you could keep an eye out for a supply wagon. Or my shipment at least. They'd be cutting through Black Meadow, I suspect. Only good road for it. As it is, most of our weapons go to his grace, Lord Raedric. He glances at the nearby guard, and that's as it should be. But it doesn't leave much for outsiders. We just don't have the iron. I'll try to see them back safe and sound. I'd appreciate your trying anyhow. You'd bring back the supplies at least, and I'll have much more to offer you. A discount to start. And if you do find my workers, you give them a good smack upside the head for me.
Greetings.
Ooh, Arbalist. I know I need a pry bar. I know I need that. And the grappling hook. Tools are a real thing in this game that you use. I need more money. Am I supposed to stop at the temple? A rising sun and the three dawn stars, the symbol of Aesis. A man lies resting against the wall, lit by the dim illumination of the fading sconces. He has a gaunt, fox-like aspect, and his face is pale and damp with sweat. One arm is held loosely against his side, sleeve soaked with blood. He gives you an anxious glance as you near, his features twisted
Hello.
with pain. Godlike. Thought you were some... Never mind. Whoever you are, you traveled a long way to reach a dark place. This temple isn't what it used to be, probably for the best. Times being as they are. He groans and shifts position, wincing. I'm no looter, if that's what you're thinking. Not one of the faithful either, just wanted to do some good, I suppose. Got my arm clawed up for it, I suppose. Maybe you'll have better luck. Better luck with what? The man points a finger upwards. These ruins around us used to be a temple of Aethys, the scattered god. A grand temple at that. His worshippers would come all over from all over the Deerwood. From Red Cirrus even. Until the war, of course. Even then, you'd get some of the stubborn ones. The ones that couldn't get it through their heads that the god was dead. He allowed them to worship. Redrick would clear out the place from time to time, make a rest. It wasn't until the legacy that he started losing patience. He sent his guards in to put the priest to the sword, bring the place down, burn some books, and that was that. That's not nice. What's this legacy? The cause of the corpses in that tree, for starters. That's putting it a mite simply, but yes, indirectly. Saint Widewind's legacy, the man that housed the scattered god, a Lord Redrick fought in that one when they brought the god down. We had us a celebration here in town. We thought things would never be better. I'm just taking a drink, that's all. Started some time after that, the disease, or whatever it is, children being born without the stuff that makes them truly alive, just empty shells and their mother screaming and crying. He let out a long breath. It destroyed us, Gilded Veil, I mean. The thinking is it's Widewind having a last laugh. Strikes me as a little petty even for a dead god. He smiles thinly, but Lord Redrick believes it, that's all that matters. Once the legacy started, Lord Redrick decided he'd be too lenient on the Eothis. I can't pronounce... Brain! On the worshippers. He had his people go in and put them to the sword, left them down there, buried under a heap of rock. After that, Redrick ordered the temple sealed. It's been years like that up until recently. Lord Redrick hopes that if we rededicate the temple to a living god, then we'll be forgiven and the legacy will end, see? But until then, the temple is as you see it, unguarded. That's where you come in. Those priests, maybe they didn't have a lick of sense between them, but they still didn't deserve to go like that. Chopped down in their god's house. It doesn't sit right. Maybe if you can get down there, find their remains, maybe we can finally give them a proper burial. Wharton breathes out. No small task. There's coin in it for you if you need motivating. Alot's cautious expression softens. A pleasant surprise to see that someone around here has a shred of respect for the dead. I take it you're not supposed to be in here. Wharton laughs bleakly. Well, I meant to be in and out, nice and quick. I'm not hurting anyone. It's just Lord Redrick's forbidden anyone having anything to do with the scattered god. It'd be a little harder to explain to him than you. It's a good cause, though, isn't it? And you could make some coin in the process. Why can't you do this yourself? Well, I tried. Only got a short ways in before I got in over my head. I haven't raised a blade in a long time. Turns out it isn't something you can just pick up again. I mean, muscle memory's a thing, but I know what he means. But you look like you can handle yourself. Who are you, anyway? Wharton offers you a weak grin. Name's Wharton. I've lived in Gilded Vale long enough to remember how grand it used to be. He shrugs and looks away. I used to help the temple sometimes, bring supplies, that's all. Won't Lord Rhetoric mind us digging down here? I wouldn't go telling him about it. Lingering in these places, it's no good for anyone. But you do this quick and quiet, and we can do right by those priests without raising a fuss. Alright, yeah, asked that already. Anything worth down here? Wharton looks around. Probably. Nobody's been through this place since it was sealed up. Well, apart from me, and I didn't touch anything. Anything valuable's in there, you get first crack at them. I only ask that you do this favor for me while you're at it. Do you want me to bring you some skeletons? I'd bury them where they are if I could. I know it's a little macabre, but if we don't get them out now, Rhetoric's liable to destroy whatever's left of them. Alright, yep. Then by the flame, I owe you a good turn. But listen, the temple's been sealed off for so long, it's crawling with creatures. But if you get past them, the priests would have been down on the lower floor. They'll likely still be there if they're anywhere. Those priests had all kinds of secret chambers, switches in the walls, trick sconce, that kind of thing. Keep an eye out and take care down there. I wouldn't want to have to send someone else down after your remains. I'll wait here by the stairs and keep a lookout. Maybe try to patch myself up. Am I able to get Eder to Am I able to get Eder for this first? Well, according to what I read, yes. Oh, okay, I missed something crucial and I'm dumb.
Hail, traveler.
Your sleep is restless and fevered, assaulted by hisses and whispers, blanketed with a suffocating anxiety. You open your eyes to awaken and find yourself in front of the Gilded Vale's gallows tree. The creaking of its ropes growing louder in your mind until the sound is deafening. Hanging from the tree is an old dwarf woman whose face is shriveled inwards like moldering fruit. Her head hangs limply to one side as you look at her. She looms larger in your mind until she is inches away from your face. Suddenly, her head snaps up and her eyes open. They're empty, and behind them is a vast nothingness that makes your stomach drop. Her mouth slowly parts, and with a gust of rancid air, she speaks a word. Watcher. You jolt awake, the foul smell of the dwarf woman's breath still permeating your nostrils. Sweat runs down your face in thick droplets and your skin is soaked from head to toe. You remember the woman. You remember seeing her decayed face while you spoke to her magistrate. He called her an animancer. Though it fills you with a new queasy apprehension, you feel a strange compulsion to see this woman once more, if only to confirm she is truly dead. Do I have the quest for this thing? Yes, I do. Wait, Mother's Plea? Oh yeah, that. The squat, disintended body of an elderly dwarf woman dangles from a thin, crooked bow that sags at the tug of her noose. And these people are mean. The bloated purple flesh of her neck, worn away in patches like moth-eaten linen, bulges over the rope that suspends her, and her lifeless head lolls forward rigidly from one side to the other when the breeze shifts. You perceive a faint glow around her that casts no light on its surroundings, but there is a tepid warmth to it, and you feel somehow that you could reach out and touch it, not with your hands, but with some aspect of yourself that has no worldly dimension. You take a deep breath, clearing your mind, focusing on your objective. As you exhale, you feel yourself spreading out towards the hanging woman. Perceiving all that lies between you and her with new, unfamiliar awareness. Once you have expanded enough to reach her, there is a sudden jolt to your mind, a ringing electric surge of images and words and sounds. Involuntarily, you shut your eyes and feel yourself being pulled down to some deeper consciousness in a space occupied only by you and the hanging woman. And when you open them again, she is staring at you with eyes clouded in a milky fog. Her body is still swaying in the wind. In a wind you no longer feel from a tree that stands planted in a misty void. The woman gives a slow nod of her head, the rope creaking as it does so, and she smiles.
Have you come here for me, dear? Or have you gotten lost? Ah, it is both, I think. Yes? No, I think not. A pity that. It would be simpler. A mercy, even. To not have to wander anymore, no? Alas, we are here, you and I, wherever here may be. Is that what we're doing? Perhaps it just seems that way. Perhaps it is the easiest way for your mind to make sense of it. I think it is a very good choice. Did you now, dear? My, that would be something, wouldn't it? Could be luck, could certainly be. A storm can be a careless thing. Or maybe it got its hands around your soul but couldn't pick it up. A soul can be heavy if it stayed in one piece through its time. Strong souls, we call them in the trade. Cold, I mean. Called them. Those days are all behind me, no? The world looks a little different than it used to, is that it? Feels like you're noticing things for the first time that have always been there. You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body, like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay. What indeed? Long hours have many animancers spent studying such things. Not I, though. Not I. I'll tell you what I know, though, since fair is fair, and here we are visiting, you and I, and it reminds me of better times. Souls pass on, Some say through Audra stones, which are the blood veins of the world. They leave the world for a time and are reborn into it, sometimes more than they were before, but usually less and seldom the same. For all souls there is a time where they do not live, yet have not passed on, and those souls roam the world, same as you or I, either living or lost. But no one sees them because they have forgotten how. A watcher sees, though, knows what to look for. And sometimes they know a person just by looking at them, know where they've been in ages past when their bodies were other bodies. See memories even their owner can't recall. A wonder to behold when all goes well, a wonder. Oh, nothing to be afraid of, I'm sure. It's just much to take in for some. Sometimes there's trouble sleeping or other difficulties. You should see old Meerwald. He could tell you much more than I. A watcher just like you. Helped many in his day. Took up in an old keep no one would claim. Not far, not far. Kadnua, beyond the Black Meadow. He will welcome the company. Oh, yes, entropy. Rimagan's work. We know little of why or how. We lose pieces of ourselves when we die and pick up pieces of others when we are born again, but less than what we lost. We tried to stop it with the animantic sciences, but with little success. No.
Rimmergand don't like that.
A very small few resist Rimergan's influence and stay together through some force of defiance, at least for a time. But they all succumb eventually, I think. Me? I'll bore you to tears, though. And here I thought you'd come to visit me in particular. Caldara de Baranzi, of the Valian Royal Academy of Animantic Sciences. Not the greatest of their number, but I came here all the same because this was where help was needed.
She laughs, a rasping, choked cackle escaping between rows of buttery yellow teeth, causing her body to bob up and down with each spasm. Seeing your blank expression, she catches herself.
Oh, come now. Such a question. As though the answer were plain as a rope tied for strangling. Allow an old dwarf her last bit of cheer. Well, I came where I was needed, didn't I? Offered my services to Lord Radric for a pittance. A humble pittance. I was to examine the Lord's wife, see why the gods have seen fit to poison her womb. Studied her for months, looked high and low for impurities, tested her valence, the permeability of her essence. Do you know what I found? Nothing at all. A healthy woman, head to toe, blessed with a beautiful soul. Such a sweet woman, too. Meek, but warm-hearted. A few months' time, and the lord of the house demanded answers. For a time, I told him what he wanted to hear. Oh, yes, my lord, she is riddled with imbalances. I must have time to cure her. As the birth drew near, he grew impatient, as lords do. And this is where I've ended up. A student of the soul. Something so basic, yet so poorly understood. But so many breakthroughs have been made in my lifetime. Had been made. Had been. To hear the locals tell it, we're a gang of soul manglers that preys upon the weak-minded. And the worst of us are. But the best of us? The best? inspirations, miracle workers. My parents were soul twins, miserable before they met, empty inside. It was an animancer who helped one find the other, turned their lives around. You wouldn't believe the stories. Amnesiacs helped to remember their lives. The suicidal brought back from the brink of oblivion. The elderly afforded extra moments to say their goodbyes. How soon we forget when we're afraid. It's a fascinating science. A fascinating time to be alive in a place like Deerwood that does not control the research, no? I love the Valian Republics for many things, but their recent caution will leave them behind, I fear. Of course, dear. Goodbye, my dear. It was lovely visiting.
Caldara closes her eyes and her head slumps forward over the noose. And your surroundings seem to bleed into your vision from some unknown place of waiting. Aloth looks at you through narrowed eyes. Are you alright? You seemed lost just now. Well, apparently I'm a watcher. His arched eyebrows recede into his hood. Well, that is interesting. He gives you a sly grin, and I expect that explains how you survived a biowalk, In any case, I appreciate your honesty. Since we're traveling together, it's probably wise for us to share these things. Well, in that case, do you know anything about Watchers? Only that they're rare and that they seem to have unique insights into certain soul conditions, as you just demonstrated.
17 and a half.
Bet. The smell of pipe smoke, at once earthy and sweet, winds its way into your nostrils. Your eyes trace the smoke to its origins, where you find a broad man with straw-colored hair leaning against a mossy rock, while his pipe held to his lips with one meaty hand. He looks you directly in the eye, but the look is not aggressive. He regards you with a
17 and a
peculiar
half.
smirk.
No, could be 18, depending on how you count the dwarf woman. The dwarf woman. You were trying to figure out whether to count her as a full person. I think you oughta.
What?
The people hanging from the tree. 18 of them. Well, last I counted, anyway.
Aloth frowns. Is that what you people do for fun around
Name's
here?
Adair. Though to the people around here, might as well be 19. Don't think I'd put you much higher than 22, 23 tops. You look like the sort that likes to get involved.
He looks at you for a moment, his brow arched, his smirk broadens.
I was smoking over here, saw you staring at her. Twice I refilled my pipe. You never so much as blinked. Your mouth was so slack I took you for a Radric at first. Careful, friend. Best not use that word round here. Could be any number of Radric bootlickers within earshot. Ciphers, animancers, watchers. Same thing in the eyes of folks around here, Radric especially. They come through these parts all the time with their cures, preying on the desperate. None of them are who they claim to be. Of course, seeing you with that funny look, I'd be halfway inclined to believe you were having some kind of communion with that dwarf. Either case, maybe I'm not 19 after all. No offense. The town's had it in for me for a long time now. Only fellow who ever stuck up for me, well, he's number 18 up there. My headman on the farm. Used to be my captain during the war.
Saints War, only one in my lifetime. Fella decides he's the living incarnation of Aothis. Overthrows Redisaurus, marches on Deerwood, so we gave him a Deerwoodian hello.
We blew him up.
God of rebirth and redemption, formally anyhow. Maybe they call him something different where you're from. He got involved. Rhetoric sent men down here the other day. Said they had said they had it on good authority. Someone in town was working with Kulsk, plotting Rhetoric's overthrow. Said if he didn't come forward right then and there, they'd hang every last one of us. No one was coming forward, so Swithin, that's my headman, he steps up and says it's him. They took him at his word. He sighs and shakes his head, his eyes fixed on the tree. Bound to happen sooner or later, if not for plotting against Rhetoric, then for protecting me.
Pick the wrong god. That's what it comes down to. Used to be a lot of Aethys worshippers in Gilded Vale. That mess of rocks over there, that was a temple to him, to give you some idea. Then one day, somebody named Widewind shows up on Deerwood's doorstep. Says he's the living flesh of Aethys. Got an army with him. Suddenly, Aethys isn't so popular in these parts. My brother Woden and me, neither of us believed it. No way was that Aethys. He enlisted, and then I did too. But, he didn't make it back. After the war, people took to punishing Aethys worshippers, accusing them of treason. Got real ugly, especially after the Legacy started. Folks needed someone to blame. I was safe because I fought, but then this rumor starts that my brother, that he was on the wrong side. And I wasn't so safe anymore. Until my headman stepped in and said they'd have to hang him to get to me. Seems that's no longer a concern. Of course, the townies don't do the hanging these days, but when Raedric's men come, they got no problem doing the pointing.
Aloth glances at you and lowers his voice. You can see why I was eager to leave. And who is Kulks? Someone who got tired of all the hangings. He's on the run now, probably will be till they catch him. If you're next to be hanged, what are you still doing here? Drinking, mostly. Point of fact, I'm on my way out, just haven't figured where I'm going yet. Not a whole lot of places out there that don't think Widewind's legacy started with Widewind. Well, you could come with me. Some place called Cadnua. There's an old watcher who might be able to
I
help.
remember hearing something about that years ago. He tamed that place. People would seek him out for all kinds of things. Troubles of the soul, questions for the departed. Of course, that was back when you didn't have to say watcher with a hush on your breath. A man such as that, there'd be things I'd want to ask him. Don't know why I never thought of it before. Not sure how I feel about setting out with a stranger. And a strange one at that. But, truth be told, you might be the only one in town who wouldn't feel some relief seeing me swing from that tree.
That's a fine reason if I ever heard one, says
All right
Aloth.
then. Guess I'll do some sightseeing. Long as you're not the one picking the sights.
So, does he have his equipment that he did in the second game, or is it something he gains during? See, does he have it already? Okay, so he gets it by default. Oh my god. My brain. Oh, whatever. What equipment does he have? Talk to Eder. I hope that Watchers are still there. Been years since I heard anything about him. What is it you wanted to ask him anyway? Just some things about the past, about the war, says Eder. I've been thinking I missed my chance to find out what I wanted to know. That old Watcher, though, he opens up some new possibilities. I wanted to ask something about you. If you're sure, says Eder. What did you do before this?
Other than the war, I never strayed too far from where you found me. Farming, mostly. I was never much for cities. Never learned a trade. In my younger days, I thought I was going to go preach the word of Aethys. Just in our temple there. My parents encouraged it. I made so much trouble for them growing up. They used to say it'd be best if I got in good with the God of Redemption. Of course, us blowing him up probably didn't help my chances there. But if anybody'd forgive you for blowing him up, it'd be Aethys.
I mean, you're not wrong. Aethys seems to be all over the place when it comes to morality.
They did. It was strange timing, because we just won the war. They celebrated when I came home. There was music and dancing. Trumbull used half his grain making this big honey cake. I still dream about that cake. Like having the best lover of your life, but only for one night. And they were all sorry to hear about my brother. Took a while for word of the purges to reach us. Aethasians being murdered in the streets. Cold morn and the like. No way would they let something like that happen in Gilded Vale. That's what they all said. But the weeks went by and the purges spread. Pretty soon they weren't so sure my brother fought for Deerwood. And they weren't so sure I did. Caught me by surprise after all the celebrating. Should have seen it coming after the tailor said he was going to fit me for some new clothes, but then all he wanted was my neck measurement. Nah, not that last part. But you had to think about it. Says a lot about the place I've been calling home all these years.
Accurate. Why did you stay if they hated you?
I'm sure my parents are still wondering the same thing. The Aethasian purges were like this madness had come over the town, like a disease. Seems like when you see something like that, your instinct is to wait for it to pass, even when you know it probably won't. The family whose farm I worked on, they had a little Hollowborn girl. And they heard the Animancers had this cure, the Salvation it was called. They went running.
I already don't like the sound of that.
This Salvation, they were putting animal souls in children. You might have heard about it. Giving them enough personality to care for themselves. You can guess how that turned out. Matter of time, the children broke down. Became wild things. Monsters.
I remember this mention from the second game.
Anyway, these farmers put the family dog's soul in their little girl. For a while, the girl, she's making eye contact, she's feeding herself, albeit in a kind of messy way. And one day she snaps. They found her gnawing on her brother's bones. Had to chain her up, put her in a cow pen.
Now, isn't this in itself a contradiction, though? Like, from what we know about the souls in this universe, that all animal souls are actual normal humans. Well, I'm using human loosely here because, multiple species. But, in general, all animal souls are human souls, and all human souls are animal souls. Aren't they the same thing? So, I'm missing the point on how this works. And again, I haven't played haven't played the first game, so maybe I'll find out.
Well, the mother, she wouldn't have anything to do with the girl after that. But the father, he'd visit every day, feed her chickens, toss water on her once in a while to get the dirt off. Most of the village, they'd whisper about him. Poor man, they'd say, sick with grief. He was just waiting for his daughter to look up one day and recognize her papa. He was waiting for her to get better. Didn't understand that at the time, of course, but these days I think about him a lot.
Just my parents now, says Eder. They took a ship back to Adir when the purges started, wanting me to go with them, but I didn't see things like they did. Been a long time since I've seen them. I really should visit, but for some reason I haven't much felt like leaving home. Good thing they chased me out or I might have never left.
What's on your mind? It makes two of us.
What is there to
If
even
you're looking
know?
to find religion, maybe you want to start with a god that hasn't been burned to dust, but I won't stop you. Aethys, he was a young man with a silver crown. Carried a candle around with him. Sounds like I'm giving a bad eulogy here.
Now here's the thing. In the second game, you can one of the beginning endings to the first game is that you can get Eder to like Aothis, God, religion, etc. more. But from this right here, it sounds like he doesn't believe it, so I'm a bit confused. He was a lot of different things to a lot of different people. I guess. Rebirth, redemption, light. Out in the country, he's gone. The farmer who helps all things past, season, and people both. He watches over the weak, does gone, season balance is made right. You could see why all the copperless rowdies around here might take a liking to someone like that. He was real popular here for a time. These days, you won't find too many worshipping Aothis in the open. It's hard to know who still does it in private and who's given it up. Feels like I'm the last one sometimes, and that's the case. He deserves all the mourning. You still worship?
In my way. I don't suppose he expects me to show up at his temple these days. Not much left to do for him other than keep his memory alive and keep hoping that he's just been playing a joke on all of us these past 15 years.
As far as I know, he hasn't said anything to anyone since the God Hammer detonated. Okay, then why are you still worshipping him? Eder grimaces. Well, if it turns out he's not dead, and I gave up on him, I've had betrayed my God twice. Even the God of redemption's gotta have standards. I'd probably be I'd probably be reborn as a fat Amawa's horse. That's not really it though, not all of it anyway. He casts a sidelong glance. Guess it's more I still believe in the things he believed in. I just hope his death doesn't mean the death of all those things as well. Sometimes it looks that way. And why did you choose to worship him even in the beginning?
Raised that way. My family's been Aothasian going way back. Suppose it wasn't much of a choice at first. Don't know for sure why my family started worshiping him. Probably because of Gon looking after folks like us.
Eder looks you in the eye, conspiratorial. Could just as well be that my ancestor did something so bad only Aothis could forgive. It'd explain a lot about where I got some of my less respectable traits. Do you only worship him because you were raised to?
There was something I genuinely liked about Aethys. Always. Like he understood people better than the other gods. Knew all our flaws and weaknesses and accepted us for that. Folks are at their worst when they're afraid. A god like Aethys, he made you realize there was nothing to fear. Made you a better person.
I'm not sure I agree with that playing the second game. Aothis seems like the most flawed god. In all of the wrong ways. Like, he cares for people, but then proceeds to murder a whole bunch of people by not caring. Whereas, Barith helps people in the beyond and makes them feel better. From what I got in the second game. Barith seems to understand people more. Hylia cares for all types of people and doesn't want people hurt. And then there's Whale. Very confusing. Whale seems to understand people the most. I don't know, that's just my 2
Of course,
cents.
he goes away for a few years, and look what happens.
What made you think Widewind didn't speak for
Was his
Aothis?
actions. I mean, not when he started his rebellion, and not even when he took over Raed Saris. It was when he sent his armies into Deerwood.
Up to that point, he was sticking up for his people. That's what Aothis does, at least the gone part of him. Those farmers were starving, and their government didn't lift a finger. I figured if it wasn't Aothis himself, at least he had the right idea. But then he sent armies across the border, even crossed it himself in the end. Word was he was chasing refugees that escaped the rebellion, wanting to punish them. And punish us for allowing them to live there. That doesn't sound nice. That just didn't fit for me. Those are the deeds of a vengeful god, Skane or Wodaka maybe. Or just a man who had lost his sense. I still have troubles believing it, but there's no one left to ask if it's true.
You sure you don't want to talk about something more pleasant? Like the War of Black Trees or the Legacy or something?
It's eye-opening seeing just how naked you are when you got no god to protect you. The Saints' War was a hard time to be Dear Woodian. People thought it was the end times. They'd talk big about how we were going to defeat a god, but I don't think there was a man from here to the White March that didn't think he was going to die. That's nice. It does something to you. Thinking you're going to die at someone else's hands, there's a rage that comes. Blah, 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 blah. Indignation. Imagine a whole country full of that. Might have been Cold Morn that started it, town near the border. They let Wide Wind march right on through. Rest of the Deerwood cursed their names till the end of the war. Some say it was the Iothasians, blah, there we go, there that persuaded the town not to oppose the army. Others said it was just cowardice. It was like the Legacy that way. No one knew the real reason, so they just picked whichever one best suited what they wanted to believe. Either way, that town was burning before the first ashes of Aothis hit the ground, and it felt good to the people here, to be in control after being so helpless, so the fire spread. A lot of us Eothasians went the way of our god. There were claims from the Church of Mogren that she'd actually commanded the purges. I found that hard to believe. Me too, actually, given what I know about Mogren from the second game. Sounded to me like Sounded to me like people doing what they wanted, wrapping their gods around it like it was their cloak. Then again, that's what I thought about why I'd win.
I haven't been in here for, must be 5, 6 years. Used to be real nice. Bright. Warm. Greetings!
I'm going to skip through this since I've already been here before, unless Eder speaks. Not so much from Red Ceres these days. Didn't the magistrate tell you? Deerwood's being punished for killing Eothis. Or not for killing his followers too. Depending on which idiot you believe. Either case, you don't see too many children here born right. They come out and they don't cry and they don't look at their mothers. Got no soul in them to give them a personality, they just breathe. Alrighty.
Where is the...
Most inconvenient!
I forgot to swap weapons.
Let's end this!
I'm stuck.
Yeah, I done goofed because I forgot to fucking...
Throw a 10!
Yeah, I done diddly goofed because I forgot to swap my weapon.
Lava will be on seek! Lava!
Yeah, now that I'm doing it right,
Throw a 10!
this is less bad. Ooh, level up. Yay. Um... I guess this one, because more skeletons would be nice. Ooh, money. Mother, I have asked Brother Ederic to carry this letter to you, for he travels to New Halmar come morning. With him goes what coin I have, and I hope it will ease the surprise of an unexpected homecoming, for I mean to follow in a few days' time. Our village is much changed, and though I do not wish for you to worry, I do not feel it is safe to remain. I know the Rectrix Obrica will not approve, but the letter trails off. Whoever sat here left in a hurry, ink has dripped across the scroll. The pile of furniture is branded with scorch marks. There's no lever in here. Money!
We're losing, folks.
Oh, come on!
We gotta take better care of Ella.
It's on me! Oh, come on! Yeah!
Scalar Bros.
At once.
Will-o-wisps do a lot of damage. Um,
Stand together. Again, no!
damn is all I can say.
I haven't been in here for, must be 5. Hail and well met.
I go through this again. Now, alright, save that, swap weapons, character, inventory. You need a weapon on your second bar.
Most inconvenient.
Kind of stuck over here.
Throw a tip.
Lava beyond.
Stay with us! Red now! Most inconvenient.
Not today.
Right, big Spooder.
Lava beyond seek.
Finish them.
I'm stuck.
I guess damage reduction would be more effective than more Scalar Bros. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah. Save.
Wait.
Oh, okay.
Not to alarm you, but I'm...
Let us have this!
This parchment is relatively intact, but the ink upon it has faded. You can make out a few patches of careful, tidy script. Inquisitors to the ritual floor. Rectrix Oberka says redemption for even these. Orgot and struck the largest bell first, rather than the second. The rest is eligible. Eligible. Oh, that's convenient. Why can't I take this? Oh. Okay, then camp.
Where they feel.
Lava will be on... Seek! Get your blood!
Lose a kind!
Jeez.
Where they feel. Let us have this!
Well, might as well go get more custom companions, I guess. I wish I had more money so I could get the Arbalist.
Hail and well met. Hail and well met.
Go godlike. Alright, moon godlike, I guess.
Leading the way.
Greetings.
How many party members can I have? Is it still 6?
Good day to you.
Let's go with... I guess barbarian.
I'll teach you a lesson.
My eyes are peeled.
I'll lead the way.
Finish them!
Mm-hmm. Show them how it's done! Yes. No prisoners!
Where in the fuck did I put my water bottle? I know I had it literally just a second ago. Hell? Well, I got no idea where the hell it is.
Where they see
Lavaru, be on seek!
Oh yeah, rogues make this way better.
Get up, lads! Our number is diminishing! We're losing, folks.
where they see us.
Should've done something.
Rogue did make it better until they died.
Stay with us!
Where they
Not good. Keep it together. This. No, it can't be.
where they see
Damn it.
I'm dumb.
No, it can't be.
I'm dumb. One of my fucking companions wasn't attacking this whole time because I accidentally turned off his AI earlier. Duh, duh, duh. let me save again.
Cuefecimas meet.
Curses!
Bro, attack, you dummy.
Gotta be more careful.
Cuef.
Stay with us! Backbones obeyeth this!
I mean, I got XP. And a dummy.
Cuefes.
Not good.
Cuefecimas.
You're losing, folks.
Be careful!
Come on! Most inconvenient!
Cuefes.
Get up, lad! Our number is diminishing! Get up! Can't be!
We can't afford another loss like that.
I feel off.
Pro a 10.
I thought the spider just healed for a second. I was about to be very upset. That's a fake wall if I've ever seen one. The red-brown smears flake away under the toe of your boot. The nearby crystals light the cracked mosaic floor in shades of orange, and at certain angles, the metallic symbol beneath your feet gleams gold. As you look on, the air shimmers as if with summer heat. The very dust and air seem to pull together until a thin, glowing mist appears before you. In its rippling gleam, you sometimes think you can see the shape of a man, features rendered in broad strokes of air and smoke. Your voice sparks movement. The spirit surges with sudden blazing light, and in the next moment you are somewhere else, your mind assailed with a sudden wave of fear and noise. You are in the chapter hall. Priests and faithful have gathered in a great crowd. Spilling into the hall, bodies pressed against you, surging forward to listen. Your own grief is mirrored in the faces around you. Some of the initiates are weeping. Someone has snuffed the candles, and the room is dark, save for the podium, lit from behind. 2 people stand before it, lit in silhouette. A man is shouting, voice so ragged with fear you cannot understand what he's saying. But the rectrix stand calm, unmoving. Her strength will see you all through these dark times. You feel the hope like a spark behind your ribs. Somewhere behind you, someone begins to sing. The spirit tears itself from you with sudden dizzying force, and you find yourself back before the ruined altar swaying. Spirit fades as suddenly as as suddenly as it appeared. Sir, that's a fake wall. Why can't I take advantage? Did I somehow fail a perception check?
Where they see.
Well, that one went by way easier. Alright, I'm going to save here because it's getting really late. Thank you all so much for watching if you made it this far. I'll see you next time.